We don't want to break the law. We don't want to do this. We have to do this.
Cannabis extract is illegal, and that's what my product is.
I never stopped thinking about the legal issues. As I crossed into every state, that's breaking a lot of federal law.
I don't believe that any of the law enforcement agencies want to lock out what is potentially a last treatment option for these patients.
It's okay. It's okay, youngster.
There still are many, many children and adults with epilepsy who can't be controlled with existing therapies.
I cannot recommend using a medical marijuana product.
It was worth it because it helps my daughter.
If it's helping kids, why isn't it legal, or why can't you do it?
This is about as big of a piece as we'd want to cut at once.
This is our first day of harvest.
We got too much bamboo in here, that's the problem. So we get these big girls, we can't.
Each plant is a whole plant extract, so we have to cut the plant.
Final. So we'll kind of put the next plant about right here. So as long as we all know the size that we're cutting for,
It has to dry, fully dry, before we're able to process it in the lab.
Now you do that, now you can start on the next one here, the next one.
I've got a really nice one.
We stepped onto the field June 3rd.
Hey, hand me that one. Hey, you're standing on. That'll fill this one up, perfect.
We planted 17 acres with an estimated 36,000 plants. We'll likely serve several thousand patients with this.
These girls are big, which is good. My name is Penn Madison, and I am the head manager here at Stanley Brothers Social Enterprises. You need to change hands. And we grow medical hemp. We have a little girl, Millie, who's 2.5.
Yeah. Is that one hurting? Or are you getting frustrated about it, huh?
She has intractable epilepsy. It's a debilitating form of epilepsy.
1 in 26 people will have epilepsy during their lifetime. 3 million Americans have epilepsy. 50 million people worldwide have epilepsy. It is one of the most common neurologic disorders.
Yeah.
We had no idea whether or not medical hemp would work. What we did know is that everything else we had tried had not. We had seen specialists all over the country. We had tried multiple anti-epileptic drugs.
Yeah.
I would say in the last year or two, we have seen an increase in children that are here from out of state that have been brought by families to try variants of medical marijuana.
The laws in Tennessee didn't allow us to have this delivered to us there. It didn't allow this to be an option to give it to her there. So the option of moving to Colorado to pursue medical marijuana was a viable option for us, and so we chose to do that.
We start with tissue culture plants. They'll be grown for their entire season. When they're ripe, they'll be harvested, dried. Once they're cured right, they will come back to the lab for extraction, in which we will extract all of the valuable parts of the plant into a fine oil. Then that oil is used to create specific dilutions of a dietary supplement that we call Charlotte's Web.
At 9 months old, she was sleeping 20 hours a day. Kids that age like to grab things, swat at things. You would have things hanging over her. She would have no interest. And finally, at about her 9-month appointment, after we were able to find a neurologist to see us relatively quickly, he was fairly confident that she had infantile spasms.
She was barely able to grow and function because she was having upwards of 200 seizures a day.
Seizures are incredibly debilitating, but there's also a lot of other things that can happen with it: cognitive problems, depression, anxiety.
.4 3 times a day, 1.2 mL a day. And I see patients here 2 days a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And these are the consultation days and also days where people come to pick up their medicine. In order to be ready for those 2 days, I spent probably about another 4 days in lab making oil or with my brothers at the grow facilities.
He was our first state licensee for the Charlotte's Web products. And it's fitting that he is a parent of a child with Dravet syndrome.
I'm involved in this industry because of my daughter, who is 10 years old now. Her name is Emily, who has intractable epilepsy.
It's okay. It's okay, Youngs. It's okay. It's okay. Emmy John, it's okay.
At her worst time, she's had 100 to 150 seizures a day.
It's okay.
We've been told by a couple of doctors that we have to go home and enjoy our daughter as much as we can because there's really not much hope left or anything else that will help. So I spent a lot of time in California trying to find this medicine, and I didn't have a lot of luck.
We started doing our own research to see what type of side effects, but why not try it? I just put my daughter on a medication that could have killed her. If it doesn't work, we put it to rest and we can move on with our lives. But if it does, nothing else has.
Not everybody can come to Colorado, so there has to be something else we can do. My daughter was not doing good, she was having seizures, and I knew that there could be something that helps her, but I can't bring it to California or I can't transport it, so it was very frustrating.
It's okay.
In the state where we live, they do have a medical marijuana program. However, even if you were able to get through all of the bureaucratic hoops they have set up, the appropriate product for our daughter is not available.
Here I am, desperate father. I have to help my daughter. I need to have this for my daughter. So what is it gonna take? One thing led to another. How are you guys doing? How's things?
We're doing okay.
I am now the director of the foundation's California chapter. And that was the only way to do this legally. I wish when Emily started having seizures 10 years ago, somebody in this position existed, where somebody would sit down across from me and say, this is what failed for people, this is what didn't, this is what others are doing.
We were scared, one, to pick up and move and leave everything behind, but we weren't sure it was going to work.
Even in Colorado, the waiting list for Charlotte's Web oil is quite long, so it's not like you can just fly or drive to Colorado, pick it up and come home, which, apart from violating federal and state laws, is just you can't do it.
In California, we found an apartment that we could do a short-term rental.
When we started giving her the marijuana, within the first couple of doses even, we saw changes. She became more verbal. She became a lot more attentive. She was a lot more awake than she had been.
After the summer, we wanted to give a longer time for our trial. So we made a decision that we were going to bring a supply back with us.
They were able to identify a supplier in California, is my understanding, who had what appears to be a very good product of oil high in CBD, and they didn't want to fly with it, so apparently drove cross-country to get their child this medication.
Well, I never stopped thinking about the legal issues. As I crossed into every state, I tried to make sure to be very careful. Anytime I was tired, I took a break. My daughter is doing great. She's now down to about 20 a day. She's far more interactive with the world around her. She has far more enjoyment. She's not playing beside the world, she's playing in the world where she lives now. And that to me is everything.
Fortunately, that child is doing quite well, and they've gone through a huge pilgrimage to get that oil and what appears to be help their daughter.
I actually haven't heard anything about, negative potential side effects in the media. And I think it's a really important thing for parents to know is this is not risk-free.
It's not something I told them to do, but when they said they were determined to do it, I was supportive as their physician to say, listen, I will be here to guide you on helping to adjust the therapy and monitor the other drugs and the girl's epilepsy.
Overall, at least so far, our experience here at Children's Colorado has been that only about a third of families are really reporting that they see much of an improvement in their children. And of those children, when we look at brain waves, none of those are we really seeing the kind of EEG change that we would expect from a really effective medication. We also don't understand how marijuana products will interact with other medicines these children are on. Concerning things that we have seen in general, seizures have gotten worse, severe enough to require them to go into our intensive care unit.
We absolutely don't have the scientific data, and I think if I could make one point to the parents, it is that you need science.
The other concern with the artisanal products is that we don't always know what's in them. They vary from batch to batch, they vary from grower to grower. Unfortunately, we're giving it out to large numbers of very vulnerable people like children without knowing what the correct dose is, without knowing what kind of epilepsy it's going to work for.
Most of my critics, especially in the medical field, are critics that are criticizing lack of research. I blame them. That's their job. You're a researcher, you're a scientist, you're a doctor. Why didn't you research this?
Her seizures are getting stronger.
The Schedule I listing for marijuana has made it much more difficult to do research on marijuana. There is no question about that.
Really, all hemp products lie in a gray area. We're faced with a bit of a moral dilemma. We do have some legal area to operate here, but at the same time, that's up for interpretation.
The supply is going to run out because we only brought back 6 months. There are options. Realm of Caring is talking about challenging the law and sending medication across state lines.
Probably one more in the end, and that's good there.
This product this fall, coming from hemp regulations, this will be our first time to actually be able to ship this to patients across the country.
If it works, it would make a huge difference because then we could have it delivered right to our house.
Cannabis extract is illegal, and that's what my product is.
The last Drug Enforcement Agency position that I read stated that hemp products made for human consumption, which have any detectable THC in them, are technically a violation of federal law. Now, however, they go on to say that they realize that all of these products exist throughout grocery store shelves throughout America. At this point in time, I don't feel like the legal landscape is as such that people are going to come in with guns and handcuffs and try and shut down something that is providing hope and options for people.
We don't want to break the law. We don't want to do this. We have to do this.
How can kids not get what they need? I mean, anyone you talk to about it, it's like, it's ridiculous. If it's helping kids, why isn't it legal, or why can't you do it?
Everything has to start somewhere.